It's time for the wrestling show to take a very cynical look back at representing the WWE and live from Knoxville at the University of Tennessee. It's Monday Night Raw. Air date April 25th, 2022. The road to WrestleMania's Backlash. Let's go!
Welbo. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your very cynical host, Lip Hazlewood, and this is our take on what happened at Monday Night Raw, the road to WrestleMania's Backlash. And of course, they used the WrestleMania in this one here. It's the only way they can really push this next pay-per-view. It's true. Now, this is our commentators are coming back after a 2-week vacay from his honeymoon and wedding, and it clearly had a lot on his mind. It is Corey Graves. I say that because he's back with a vengeance. Very, very angry, almost as angry as me. Yes, he has spat some serious fire in this episode. And with him, of course, is the usuals, Jimmy Smith and the ever-jacked Byron Saxton. And of course, today we only have a small appearance by our very own Sarah Schreiber. But we start off with a gigantic circus. A circus. And it's a very proud moment to start off with. It is the recognizing. It is an homage to 20 years of Randy Orton. Now they had a lot of the talent surrounding the ring, just like a lumberjack match, except way more, maybe doubled. Maybe. Okay, so there's a few wrestlers around the ring, I'm just saying. And with Riddle, of course, introducing the man of the hour, it is Randy Orton. Now, Randy, can tell he's he appreciates everything. He's having the best time in his life, and he's proud. He appreciates the Riddle. He appreciates the fans. It was a love fest. But before we can really get going, Riddle had a special announcement to make. He had, of course, a special guest for Randy Orton. A Hall of Fame family, wants to say hi, I guess, introduce him down, and of course he needed this. I bet this was by Cody Rhodes, needed himself. So Cody Rhodes is introduced. The man who needs all the introduction and all the help he can get to get over with the WWE. After all, he is a pompous ass, and he needs WWE way more than the WWE needs him. Because what's Cody Rhodes going to do in AEW? His company. Win the belt? Give himself the belt? It's like Vince McMahon giving himself the belt in WWE. Wouldn't make any sense at all. It would just cheapen the belt. So, here we go. Now, with him in the ring, he didn't say much, but he's riding the coattails, and he's just trying to make this all about himself. And gets incensed. Seth Rollins, he jumps in the ring, he gives him a mouthful about you're just making this all about yourself, what you always do. I say he's desperate and in need of love and adulations, because he does not get that from AEW. No one cares about Cody Rhodes in AEW, and he can't be a heel. He needs to be a stupid face, his ego, But he just embrace this. The people hate you, Cody. You're just still new toy in the WWE, so they're cheering you until they realize what you're all about. Selfish. So while that happens, we got ourselves, Seth is the ring, we got Elias comes to the ring, he tries to, Ezekiel, I'm Elias's brother. Oh, bro, I'm Ezekiel. I don't really, who gives a darn who the hell he is? We all know it's Elias. Really, I don't know why they're pulling this stupid thing off. I'm pretty sure they've done it before. The brother. Oh no, it was Santina. I'm not Santino. I'm Santina. I'm wrestling as a girl. Just as bad. Okay, so with that, Kevin Owens comes down there and he's like, this is bull. La 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 la. So basically, what it comes down to, the Usos come down there as well, and they proclaim dominance over the RK Bro, and then this culminates to Adam Pearce making an 8-man tag for the main event. It's going to be Elias and the ever so full of himself Cody Rhodes, you know, the pompous ass. That's right, I'm going all out against Cody Rhodes. I do not like that guy. And his tag team partner is Elias. It's his brother, Ezekiel. Ridiculous. And RK Bro, Randy and Riddle versus Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and the Usos, you mean Jay, for the main event. We're looking forward to that. But right now, we go to our first match. It is, you think it's going to be a good match, but it's not. It's really not. Spoilers, it's a stupid match. It's dumb and ridiculous. Okay, this match made about as much sense as a truck full of rats in a tampon factory. That's right, that's how confusing and misguided this match was. And it was for the women's champion, the Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair versus, of course, Sonya Deville, who abused her powers to get this match in the first place. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Well, of course, this match starts off, and right off the bat, they take it outside the ring. Bianca throws Sonya over top of the table, goes back to the ring. Sonya gets counted out. Now, Sonya always says her words, when I'm wearing a jacket, I am an official. But she was not wearing a jacket at the time. And she, as soon as the winner of the match was being called, but the announcer, she grabbed the microphone and declared that this match would go on as a no count-out match. Sonya Deville decides that, hey, I'm a competitor now, but yet I'm still going to make the calls, which makes zero sense. You know, not on a contract. It's ridiculous. So, she loses once. She restarts the match as a no count-out. Well, match does go on. It goes back outside again, where Sonya Deville decides to use Bianca's hair as a tug rope, So she tries to pull around Bianca with her hair, and well, you know what? Bianca's like, you want to play that? It's a tug of war it is, and I've done this many times with my hair, and trust me, babe, you're gonna lose. And true enough, Bianca threw her over the a barricade. But you know what? It was Sonya who held her hair and got thrown over like a fool. So here's the thing. Here's where it even gets dumber. It gets even dumber. Sonya comes out and hits Bianca with a chair and smashes her in the back with the chair, which gets her disqualified. But again, no jacket. She decides to take it on herself to make a new stipulation on a dumb, stupid match. And she says, well, not only she used her hair against me first, which is totally a lie. You know, this is Sonya Deville becoming Karen Deville. She has been Karen for a long time, just like Drew McIntyre's sword. I think Drew McIntyre named his sword after Sonya, you know, the Karen of the WWE. So she starts the match up again, this time a no disqualification, no count out match. And they do, of course, they're like, yeah, sure, why not? You're an official, right? You're a fake official, it works. It was just, did not make sense. It was a nonsensical match. So, of course, while the match starts again, we got the dynamic dunce, the Dumb and Dumber. Carmella and Queen Zelina come in, back together again, I guess, after the wedding. I guess now Carmella's got time on her hands. No, sure, we had our spat, now we're back together, who cares? Who cares? So Carmella and Zelina try to help out. Now it's become a 3-on-1 handicap match, which eventually didn't really matter at all. Bianca got rid of the two Dumb and Dumber, Zelina and Carmella. And then, seconds later, it gives Sonya Deville the kiss of death, putting her out of her misery. 1, 2, 3, retaining her belt, looking like a champ. Looking like regular, but who suffered the most in this match? Why, it's Sonya Deville, Carmella, and Zelina. They all look like fools! Absolute fools in this match. And this is what was funny. Even though Sonya Deville, a complete abuse of power, still abuses her power and a bully too. So she gets Zelina and Carmella backstage and slaps Zelina in the face. Carmella pretend slaps Sonya. Blocked easily, and then with the counter slap, I don't even think this was, I personally believe that the slap on Zelina was planned. The slap on Carmella was not planned. Carmella did not see this coming a mile away. Someone must have told her last minute. It's like if her just slapped the shit out of her face. Just bitch slapped Carmella. So she did. She friggin' bitch slapped Carmella good. Wham! Carmella was speechless. She didn't know what to do. It wasn't planned. She was shocked. You know, this was Will Smith and friggin' Chris Rock slap. You know, except Chris Rock didn't fall on the floor like a little girl. But yeah, there should be some serious repercussions over this. Carmella clearly was not ready or suspecting that slap. So here we go. After that silly segment is over, let's move on to our next match. Number 2. And that is Veer Mahan. Mr. Veer Mahan. Mr. Balls underneath his armpits. So he looks like he has lats, like crazy lats. But that's beside the point. Let's go to the match. And who's Veer Mahan going to fight this time? Will it be, oh no, another jobber? They brought him straight from Knoxville, a training school, just to lose to Veer. Now, only things come positive out of this match is Sam Smothers has a nice little payday for jobbing today. And of course, this was an absolute squash match. Veer, maybe a minute in this match, it was over with the cerebral clutch to Sam Smothers, not to be convinced with, confused by him being the lost Smothers brothers or the son of the Smothers brothers. It's not true. But Veer with the cerebral clutch with a big win. But that's not over. He tosses out the old Sam to the outside ring after the win. He gives in a cerebral clutch outside the ring, and then he, choke slams him or power bombs him onto the table. Table is very sturdy today, didn't break. And he goes on top of the table with another cerebral clutch. Now, they did this now and then for poor sportsmanlike. They usually take away the victory. Will they ever do that again? Will Veer go over to edge, over the top, push the line a little bit too far and say, listen, Veer, your match is over. Go to the back, hit the bricks, little shitty guy. All right? And none of this over the top shit. You're proving nothing against jobbers. You lose! So here we go. You think losing is part of the day? Well, we go to another match. It's not a real match. It is an arm wrestling match. An arm wrestling match. What they rarely do, because it's dumb. And this time it's Bobby Lashley looking to overthrow Mr. Omos. And with Omos, it's MVP by his side. Now, what's going to happen here? Well, of course, it is going to be an arm wrestling match. And like all arm wrestling matches in the WWE, it's always fake. It's always fixed. Well, everything is, but I guess Omos was looking to win, and then MVP starts jaw-jacking Bobby Lashley, gets Bobby Lashley all fired up, and pins Omos. Moral victory, he gets a victory with the arm wrestling, but in the end, Omos smashes the living daylights out of Bobby Lashley. With this, is going to be the setup for WrestleMania's Backlash. It's going to be Bobby Lashley versus Omos Part 2. But this time it's going to be different because on Omos' side, it's going to be the great MVP. The MVP is always saying that without me, Bobby Lashley, you would not be the almighty. You'd just be floundering in the mid-cards. And it's true, I think. I really, truly think that. So now here we go. From a wrestling match, or not even a wrestling match, from an arm wrestling match to a soap opera. We're just going further and further away from wrestling. Now the soap opera of wrestling, it is starring the not ready for TV, the 24/7 players, all 5 of them in this thing. No one wants anything to do with this garbage team. No one wants to be a part of the 24/7 players. Players, here come the players. That's right. They just have a lot of fun. It's nonsense. It's R-Truth, the special guest referee now, against Dana Brooke, Reggie versus Akira Tozawa and Tamina. Now, it showed a couple things. Dana Brooke, she's not a wrestler. She never will be a wrestler. She's a model, and she's a fitness model, period. And she can't do anything more than that. She can attempt to wrestle, but it's not wrestling. So now we got a really awkward bit in the ring. It is Dana Brooke and Tamina in the ring there. Tamina grabs her in this weird, grabs her by the back of her nape of her neck and pulls her backwards, And so she's doing a awkward bridging, Dana Brooke, and she caresses the back of Tamina's neck, and it's like she wants to make out with Tamina. It was just weird and silly and just made no sense. And then that's when Tozawa tagged in, and that's a mandatory tag for Dana Brooke. So Tozawa versus Reggie. Now, Reggie also is not a wrestler. He is a performer. He is a, acrobat. that thinks he can wrestle. Now he's gone a little bit far with the 24/7 nonsensical belt, but now it is all about Tozawa. Tozawa sets up Reggie with a wonderful enziguri to the head. It's really nice. And then sets up with the Santon. He dedicates this to Tamina, and getting some incredible height. This is Montez Ford territory here. This is he can high five God. He flew up so high. He was high fiving angels up top there, and Tozawa with a massive Santon crushes Reggie, and they win. Tozawa and Tamina. So what does that mean? Nothing apparently. The belts don't change hands. It's Dana Brooke's still the champion, and then it's a whole ridiculous thing after the end where match is over now. Tamina takes down Dana, and then Reggie tries to get the pin, and then R-Truth pulls Reggie off and throws him against Tamina, and then Reggie tries to get backstabs everybody, tries to get the belt back, or should I say R-Truth tries to get the belt and tries to count himself as winner. How is that even possible? You don't even do that. That's stupid. You're either a ref or you're a competitor. You can't be a ref competitor. That's how stupid this whole 24/7 garbage is. That's how stupid it is. So now here we go in the ring is Becky Boohoo. It is the Cyberpunk Becky, the new Cyberpunk Becky, or some people might call her Moon Boots Becky, but she's got these crazy lifts on her shoes. Maybe about 6 inches. She's got half a foot on her. She needed it. So it's Boohoo Becky Lynch, Becky Boohoo, talking about she doesn't recognize herself without the belt anymore. But one thing great about Becky, at least is her natural hair. She's one of the wrestlers who decides, you know what? Just say no to the dumb hair extensions. We're not Muppets in the ring. We're wrestlers. We're human beings. So here we go. Now, challenging her is Asuka coming back. And with the hugest disrespect, he flicks the nose at Becky Lynch. And that got Becky really fired up. So I guess this is going to be a new program for Becky. It's Becky versus Asuka. Who knows how far this is going to go, and how much is Becky going to push Asuka? This is Asuka's big return. So now with big returns, we got ourselves a poor returns match. It is Finn Balor freshly from losing his belt to Theory or Theodore. Now it's a match where he won the belt against Damian Priest. Now it's a rematch, I guess. Finn Balor, the WWE making an example of the Finn Balor over Damian Priest. And now with Damian Priest, it's going to be Edge. Yes, Edge is, of course, is the how do you say this? The leader of the Judgment Day, I guess, the head of the table of Judgment Day, and Damian Priest is the Brood member. So now this was a fun match. It was Finn Balor winning most of the match, but until the end, Finn Balor gets distracted with the outside Edge. He looks back there, Edge has just stood off his seat, and that was enough to make Finn Balor distracted enough to I was going to coup de grace Damian Priest, but now I can't, because Damian Priest has got up, taken Finn Balor off the top rope, and then choke slammed him. It was a nice choke slam. It was a South of Heaven choke slam right to the reckoning. From Finn Balor almost winning to pulls out a loss from victory. And of course, Damian Priest with a big win. Mr. Excessive Belts and Laces, I call him. Damian Belts and Laces. Goes up and gives his kneels to Edge, and voila, his master. So now we go on to Miz TV. Everybody, Miz TV in the ring. Miz has the new Theory or Theodore in a ring. It was a big old kiss-ass fest. Wow. Until, of course, we got ourselves a returning Mustafa Ali, who wants that United States Championship belt. Now, Miz just gave Theodore some advice. Just say no to people who want that championship title without going through process. And of course, Theory did that. And I guess he just ended up pushing the whole conversation towards Mustafa Ali and Miz. So he turned it to them. And then they start arguing, and then I guess it all came down to Theory with calling Vince McMahon or texting Vince McMahon and set up a match. It is coming up Mustafa Ali versus Miz in Mustafa's returning match. So this was an interesting match. It wasn't terrible. It was a fun match. It was a good match. Miz was very dominant in this match. Just he was on the offense most of the time in this match. There was some flurries with Mustafa, but at the end, the final sequence was the Miz trying to put on the figure 4 on Mustafa. Very confident in himself, does a full spin, but Mustafa catches him on the spin, grabs him up, rolls him up with a great win. Now, this is unlike anything Xavier Woods does, because Xavier Woods doesn't counter anything with a roll-up. He just throws a roll-up on, because that's all he knows how to do. Xavier Woods does not know how to wrestle. His wrestling skills are very small, after he's been there years and years and years. But yet, has he learned anything? No, he has not. But that's not about Xavier Woods. It's about Mustafa and his big win over The Miz. Now, while Mustafa Ali was celebrating his victory, his next opponent, or next, program is coming up. It is Tommaso Ciampa takes him down, beats him up in the back, or takes him out just blindsiding him, sucker punching him, and that's it. I guess this will be a new thing. New program, Tommaso Ciampa. His fight against Mustafa Ali. Now, why is it? Who knows? Only time will tell. Now we go backstage with I believe it's a great Sarah Shriver with Rhea Ripley, asking why, what happened. So of course Rhea Ripley talks about her tag teams, and every time she's been thrown in the tag team division, she's only as good as her opponent, and they always bring her down, and it's time for Rhea Ripley to step out into the singles division and become the champion she always will be. But while she's talking, it is a love-struck, the broken-hearted Liv Morgan coming in there to beat up some Rhea Ripley, gain some revenge. So here's a program, now once lovers, now I guess bitter rivals. This could just be a one step in Liv Morgan's lovers quarrel. Will they get back together? Will the makeup sex be great? Who knows what's going to happen with these two? But the tension is high. So now here we go to our main event, 8-man tag. It is the ever so pompous ass Cody Rhodes tagged up with the ridiculous Elias's brother Ezekiel, and Riddle and Randy Orton, who's celebrating his 20th anniversary, versus Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and the Usos, Jimmy and Jey Uso. Now I thought Cody Rhodes was going to win this match, but this was a feel-good match. It was a fun match. It was a fun match. It wasn't a great match. It was a fun match. It was like an AEW match, really, when it comes down to it. It's fun. It was fun, over the top. So here we go. We'll go to the final sequence first at the end. Okay, now it is Randy Orton. He looks to take out Jey Uso with the RKO, but it's Rollins from it behind, knocking him down. Wham! Knocks him down. So with that, Cody Rhodes comes out and gives Seth Rollins, delivers a ridiculous looking disaster kick. It looks so silly. He looks like a dummy when he's doing that. I really don't like Cody Rhodes. So disaster kick to Seth Rollins. And then what's that? It is Randy then RKO's Seth Rollins after disaster kick, because of course disaster kick is is dumb. Is a dumpster kick, really. So after that, Kevin Owens super kicks Cody Rhodes out of his boots, and thank goodness for that. Breaks him out of the match. But then Ezekiel comes in to help out Randy Orton, setting up Kevin Owens with the RKO. But after that, it is Jimmy super kicks. Jimmy Uso comes in and super kicks Ezekiel in the face, knocks him out of the ring, not to return. And then after that, this is the big ending. This is all flourishing of people running in the ring and doing some silly stuff. The typical big finish. Now, after that is Riddle and Randy Orton teaming up against Jimmy Uso, setting Jimmy Uso up with a big RKO. Jimmy Uso is now out. But while that's happening is Jey Uso, for some strange reason. No one's really hurt on the Cody, Ezekiel, Randy, and Riddle side. Everybody's standing up, no one's on the ground, while Jey Uso decides to take the top turnbuckle. John climbs to the top, do an Uso splash. For some strange reason, he decides it. So he goes up, he dives off top rope, and guess what? he gets met with the RKO by Randy Orton. Surprise, surprise, surprise! Big RKO finish, and I guess that's the old. Here's a big win for you, Randy Orton, for your 20th anniversary. And that's that. That wins it for Randy Orton. Wins it for Team. I guess we're all looking forward to the wonderful Backlash. And well, that's it for this episode of Raw. Now, coming up after the break will be a new segment, a change up. It will be the NXT 2.0. Now, stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break.